Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena, and today we'll be furthering our journey with Dingsplatz. We are already down two tiles wherein we explored different set of tangles using the same string of the Dingsplatz. Yes, today we are going to have some more fun. So let's start drawing our string. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to keep the loop somewhat to the edges so that I get a bigger space inside. Yeah. So although it is a freehand thing, you can draw it any ways you want. However, I'm going to just kind of keep my loops towards the edges so that I get a little bigger space in the center. Yeah. So now let us get started. What I'm going to do here is just to ensure that I draw the tangle inside carefully. I'm first doing some bit of pencil work here. This is just to ensure that there is no confusion while I draw the inner tangle. Yeah. So why I have done that, we'll see now. So I'm going to draw an orb. And now I'm going to draw a tangle called Y4. Yes. So I'm going to start here, go up, come down, and then that's how the tangle Y4 goes. Come down. So this part I'm skipping, again turning, and then you connect this and you connect this. Yeah, that's the tangle Y4. So this is why I drew the inner line with pencil, so that there is no confusion as to which lines to draw and which ones to skip. Yeah. If you are confident enough of doing that on your without the pencil lines, please go ahead. That's very good. I was not, so I just drew the pencil lines first, right? Again, drawing my second Y4. A comparatively new tangle, not explode much. Yes, then we'll go to the third. So again, turn it, go up, again, turn it. You need to be a little mindful of which lines do you want to show and which ones do you want to skip. And that's why I did this exercise of drawing my string with the pencil, so that first I can place my Y4 and then we can ink the lines. So as I mentioned, if you're confident enough of doing it right away, please do that way. In fact, it is better. Yeah. So that's the tangle Y4. And then we have the last side here. Just going with whatever spaces I have, not thinking much where what, just accommodating and going with the spaces that I have. Yeah, and then I'm going to go to the loops and ink them. I'm also going to add one more aura there. So drawing Y4 this way can be a little tricky, and that's the only reason I did it first with the pencil. Probably if you practice it once or twice, then you will be able to remember which lines to ink and which ones to skip. Yeah. So that's our Dingsplatz. Now comes how do we deck up our Y4. First thing first, I'm going to add this triangular shape here, something like we do for Huggins. It's kind of similar kind of a shape here, just that Huggins has curled up. So take your time, slowly do that exercise. Now comes these sections. So these sections again, I'm adding one more line, so I will give kind of a coffered look to these loops. Yeah, inside the loops you can add any tangle, probably bunzo would be a nice idea. It will add some bit of drama to your tile. So let's add bunzo. Yes, it's a drama tangle and you can see how it immediately gives the lift to your tile. So I'm going to do that throughout. Yeah. So I'm now on the last section, adding the same bunzo in all inside these loops. A nice drama tangle with some bold inking involved. Right, now once we are done with that, it's up to us what do we want to do. Now one way is to aura the inside space and separate these, kind of Y4s that we have drawn. So small little spaces there. What I am doing is I'm going to aura separate my Y4 from the rest, and the remaining space you can either add or ink, add any tangle or ink. So slowly take your time, kind of separating the inner space. Like this. Yeah. Now the rest of the space you can comfortably ink, or if you want to add some orbs you can do that. I think I'm going to ink it. So take your time, ink the inner space. Yeah, you can use a broader nib if you wish to. So I'm going to slowly do that exercise. You can do it at your own pace. Like this. Yeah. So I'm done with inking the inside. Now I'm going to do exactly the same exercise on the outside also, so that whatever tangle I decide to draw on the outside does not mingle with my Dingsplatz. So So just go ahead and add a fine aura all around your Dingsplatz, your Y4. Slowly take your time. Whatever spaces you have, just go around. It's a fine aura, it's a close aura. Yeah. So I'm just mimicking the outer shape, adding one more layer of aura. We already did an inner aura so that our Y4 is kind of separated from the rest. Yes, that aura is also done. Now the rest of the tile is entirely yours. You can add any tangle of your choice. So what I'm going to do is go with the simple tangle called Hollowbog, and if you wish you can add double lines or one extra aura on both sides. And if you don't want to ink the in between spaces which will be left, we can add some other tangle inside. Probably one tangle that is coming to my mind right now is Tunnel Vision. It's not a Zentangle original, but it's a nice wonky tangle and will go well in the in-between spaces left with my Hollowbog. Yeah. So let's first draw our Hollowbog again with an extra aura on both sides. Take your time, no hurry. Draw at your own pace. Draw behind, do not cut lines. We always draw behind as far as Zentangle is concerned. It's one of the fundamentals. Drawing behind gives us an excellent shading opportunity. And keeps our work clean. So I'm going to continue like this. Draw Hollowbog all around. You can draw at your own pace. Don't haste up. Don't worry too much about whether the lines are straight or not. Doesn't matter. Hollowbog has many versions. You can give curvy lines. Take your time and do that exercise throughout. Yeah. So I'm done drawing my Hollowbog. If you want, you can make it more dense. You can add more lines. Entirely up to you. How much do you want? How much space do you want in between your Hollowbogs? Right now, these in between spaces, we have a choice. So either you can ink some of the spaces, which would look nice. In fact, probably we will ink some of the spaces and then we will add some tangles, probably crescent moon, or as I mentioned, tunnel vision in some of the other spaces. right? So let's start with a tangle called tunnel vision. So I have drawn a hump or a inverted U shape. I have drawn a caviar kind of a shape, and then I'm going to add some broken lines like these to form a tangle called tunnel vision. Yeah. So I have added tunnel vision at some of the places, and some of other places I have filled in a tangle called tipple. Yeah, you can see these are the spaces generally mostly adjoining the uh, Dingsplatz. I have added some bit of tipple, right? And you can decide wherever you want to add it. I have just chosen random sections and added tipple there, and I'm still doing that. Wherever I feel like, just go ahead and add some bit of tipple. It will add to the look of the tile. Right, and once we are done with that, now some of the sections we can ink. Yeah, so randomly select some sections which you want to ink. You can use a broader nib and then go to those sections and just add some more of black. Generally the in-between spaces in Hollabog are inked. It adds a lot of drama. So we did some bit of tunnel vision in some of the sections. We did some bit of tipple in some other sections. And now we are going back and inking some bit of sections that are left in between our Hollabog. Yeah, so take your time and slowly go to these sections and ink them. Yeah, wherever you feel like. I'm just picking sections randomly, not thinking much. Yeah, so I've picked up random sections and inked them. Now let us move on to shading right away. Yeah, so starting first with our Y4. So I'm going to add shade here and I'm going to add shade here. Yes, spaces are small, so you don't want to add too much of graphite. So make sure you just stick to the minimum. And you blend, do not blend too much. Yes, so that you don't make the entire thing gray. So wherever spaces are less, those things need to be taken care of. We can add here also, since it is a fold. And then on these lines, to give them a covert kind of a look. And then here also, since it is going over, so a lot of opportunities to shade here, but make sure you add little graphite and not much. And then time to blend. Don't blend too much. Take your time, slowly go to each. Just need to blur the graphite, not too much. Make sure you don't blend too much. So I'm just making sure that I leave that small highlight in between. Using almost the tip of my blender to blend Take your time and slowly go to each. Yes, I think we are done with our Y4. So make sure the highlights are clear, the over and under is clear. Yes, then moving on next to this loop. So we have drawn a line up right there and a line down. So shade from both sides, leave a highlight in the center like this. Yeah, again do the same for all. Take your time. Slowly do that exercise. Throughout. Since we are already shading outside our bunzo, I don't think I would like to touch my bunzo because spaces are small. So I would rather keep my shading to the outside only. If at all you feel like shading your bunzo, then you'll have to add graphite on both ends, and they are pretty small, so you can skip that probably. Yes, and then comes our hollow bog, and hollow bog is shaded on the intersections wherever lines are going over, lines are going under. They are the places where you shade. So just take your time, go to each of the intersections, add that graphite, and then soften it. Like this. Yeah, so I'm going to do that throughout for hollow bog. So I'm still shading my hollow bog at the intersections wherever you see lines going over, under. Those are the places to highlight. Make sure you leave highlights in between also, so that the lines do not go gray. They look like ribbons. So you can add some bit of graphite at the ends. Some places you can just rub your stub because it's already there. That much graphite is sufficient. Right? So I'm just revisiting all the lines of my hollow bog, and wherever you feel like you can add some extra graphite. Yeah, some of the places if you want you can just create some cloud, empty spaces there where there is neither tipple nor ink, giving just a kind of a grey cloudy effect there. Not much. Yeah, now last but not the least, since the inside is absolute black, you can, if you want, embellish it with some dots. It will give a mystical kind of a feel. I generally do that. I love to do that wherever there are bold black portions. Just adding some tiny dots, and it adds a kind of mystery feel. You can leave it as such if you don't feel like adding too many details. Yeah, so that's our tile for today. I don't think we need to add anything else. If you want, you can add a touch, not much, on your some of the tunnel vision, the tangle tunnel vision, generally added on both sides since we have a highlight in the center. So that's about it. I don't think anything else is required. A small little detail, if you wish to highlight this stem of your Y4, you can always do this exercise, add some dots and connect it with the center. You can highlight this stem by redoing the line if you wish to, and then add some dots there. Dots or puffs always come handy as far as embellishments are concerned, so use them wherever you can. Small little dots there running right till the end, and a little emphasis on the stem of the Y4. That's about it. Let's now close our tile. So I'm going to put in my chop here. Sign and date your tile. I shall see you again in another session on Dingsplatz. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.